everybody, and welcome to the Royalty X Nightwatch Game of Thrones Invitational. Today we have Maple Leaf up against Cloud9. Casting, bringing you all the action is going to be way out of the way that the game here in the house, all the way from the sunny shores of South Africa.
Yes, indeed, Orlando. Thank you so much to all who has come here and watched this amazing game. We are in the
I am not the only one bound by these chains.
the throne right at the top of that 15,000 diamonds.
Sir, what's your command?
Your team is banning.
You're going to see some bans coming through. It's going to be that Phobius and the Fanny.
So, Phobius, Fanny right off the bat. Phobius are extremely strong in the XP lane, and Fanny, you don't really want to give a 90 level Fanny player a Fanny, because that's just the entire game back, just cabling in and out, dancing through the backlines, causing all sorts of havoc. For those of you who are tuned in to watch with us, just to remind you,
The hunt begins.
Your team is banning.
This best of 5 to take place last night, Cloud9 winning that particular matchup. So we've got 4 games left for today. Well, potentially 4 games left for today to determine who is going to join Aim High in the finals coming up this weekend.
Indeed, Aim High. We saw them play yesterday. They were exceptionally good. They managed to beat the likes of the qualifier losers, who were definitely, they had some really scary names there, like Yato. So, I mean, that's impressive stuff. And we're going to see them coming through on the finals quite soon. As we also have the Ruby band, going to come out from C9 once as well. Ruby, I mean, this year...
Who said there are no shortcuts in
Your
life?
team
I
is
literally
banning.
invented one.
You can play Ruby as a gold lane because she just carries the game after, like, she gets her items. I don't understand it. She carries the game better than a marksman does.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, we're all following sort of the Filipino Indonesian style of play here. Once they started using fighters on the gold lane, everyone's like, wait, what's happening here? Then we try it out for ourselves, and we're like, this is broken. Ruby gold lane. Now, before that, I think it was the Brutus and the gold lane that had it, the Lunox.
Yeah, I mean, those are like a mainstay now, right? You usually see the Harith main. You don't even see him in any other positions in the gold lane. This currently in the meta. Lunox not so much in the gold lane. Going mid.
Your team is banning.
We also have a Jawhead going to be taken out by C9.
Yeah, as well as a chip being removed by Maple Leaf. Jawhead, as we see, is one of the strongest early game potentials. We saw that last night in the first game. If you haven't watched it already, it's on Nami Gaming. You can take a look at qualifier losers.
Still waters run deep.
Your team is picking.
Yesterday, it was devastatingly strong for them. But then we've got the Ling band coming out from the side of Maple Leaf. Looks like they're hard targeting the jungle a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, the jungle is probably, you know, it's people like to call it a core role.
I will choose my own
Your
path.
team is
It
picking.
dictates how your team wants to play, right? It's like if your team has a tank jungle, then you know you want to be going for an early sort of draft, or maybe you want to like protect your late game marksman. But if you're going for an assassin jungle, yeah, you know, you're pushing the tempo, you know, with the Lings, the Fanny. You want to get that mid game spike. You want to be able to carry the game by yourself, aka hyper carry, right? So you know, banning on jungle here is going to
Muscle of iron,
knocking down what
bones
the team
of
cannot
steel.
do. As we're now looking at the first 2 bans here, I mean, the first 2 picks here, excuse me, the all-out being picked up by C9. Now listen, this all-out hero is scary, man. He even having no mana, as well as a little buff on his passive. He's just kind of terrifying.
I am more than
Your
a
team
weapon.
is picking.
It's going to be just up against Gatto. I'm assuming the Gatto is going to be going into the XP lane with the Julian jungle. What do you think, Riga, about Julian in the jungle after that nerf that took place?
I think he's still...
Let's go.
I mean, I think he's still good, right? I mean, the Julian kind of just it does everything, right? He has that like early spike, with that level 3, right? Get all of his.
I didn't cure the pain.
He has that
I
sort of
harness
instant
it.
timing, as I was talking about. But
A dead patient is a good
team is
patient.
picking.
period of time, but he's sort of become a little bit predictable in the way he plays, right? He usually just camp a bush, you know, and then after that just do that enhanced scythe combo. It is what it is, really. But we'll have to see how they make use of it in this game going forward. As you are going to see also the Roger and the Valentina coming through. I quite like the Valentina to cover up the Roger a little bit, because I know that actually stealing the
Hope will find a way,
Your team
even when
is
all is
banning.
forlorn.
So they're going to be able to get that core quite nicely for each other.
That's true. So the third pick for the side of Maple Leaf coming in would affect Summoner. So they're gonna have some nice CC combinations going there for the team fight.
Welcome to my castle,
Your team
my
is banning.
friend.
But then we get into the band coming up to the side of Maple Leaf then.
Something I completely missed as well. Yeah, the Gatot, dude, this here has come out of nowhere, right? With the whole Thunderbolt thing. He gets like extra defense from his passive, and it works so well with the Thunderbolt. It gives that Thunderbolt a little bit of extra damage. Well, not a little bit, a ton of extra damage. You know, you end up doing like 500 to 600 damage extra in the sort of late game scenario. I think that's the main strength of this here, is that he sort of.
I might not be a lighted man,
Your
but I
team
do
is
know my
banning.
traits.
The enemy hyper carry or the enemy marksman just so quickly. So you know, he's kind of come into the meta out of nowhere with that front.
Yeah, well, there we go. We are living in the Thunderbelt world. Right now, it's just like
For honor!
Thunderbelt.
Your
Thunderbelt,
team is
everywhere
banning.
is Thunderbelts. But we get the Barat's ban coming out from Cloud9. Barat's hasn't been seeing much life in the jungle anymore, but he's still a reasonably viable pick. And then
You are facing a
Your
cluster.
team is picking.
well, being banned up, as we got to see to great effect. Cloud9 used it last night in the matchup, the first matchup, Blue on the roam.
Oh yeah.
If you remember.
I mean, yeah, it was Nax over there. The slot 5 for C9 right there. He blew me away about how good he was on the glue. So, you know, he's going to be the first one to tell you if that glue is going to be good against him or not. And they're going to think it is. They're going to take it out for the side of them. As they're now looking at an Edith coming in from Yureshi. Pretty decent pick here. It's all the CC they need, pretty much. I mean, looking at their team, that's all the way their team is. Right? They have so much CC with the Team Guardian, the Avatar Guardians here as well. Avatar Guardian, the Primal Wrath, the Edith.
Rise beyond greatness
Your team
and
is picking.
reignite the star.
Yeah. Except it's easier to dive the backline for the user. So it's going to be Gatso on the roam for the side of Maple Leaf with user pick coming in. Really
I think-
picking up that user.
I think you do want to keep the guitar on the roam. I don't think he's that viable in the EXP if we're talking on a professional level. Just his strength comes in just his raw power of his base kit, right? All you need is really just a Thunderbolt, and then you know you're killing the backline damage dealers, even if you're don't know if you're like behind on gold, etc. Right? So, but I mean, it's something that slipped on lines.
Sand rises when I give the word.
Definitely. I mean, I would say, in my opinion, she's like the strongest.
My kiss grants you
Your team is
immortality
picking.
or death.
Time and tide wait for no man,
Like maybe mage
nor
emblems,
girl.
Or even if you want to, you can still go for the common emblems and then have like an infinite ultimate being active, even if you don't have access to that blue buff. So this hero is entirely just terrifying to play against these days. We are going to see the last pick coming out from Maple Leaf. They're going to be able to pick up that Beatrix. I quite like that. It's one of my favorite heroes, actually, Beatrix. So I'm excited to see her coming out right there, as well as Khalid coming out from C9. All right, Miranda, what are we looking at when these drafts come together?
Well, looking at Cloud9, they just went fighter heavy combo. So that means the early game potential is very, very much on their side. Are they going to hope to shut down that Beatrix so that she doesn't come online with that potential damage that she has?
Welcome to Mobile Legends!
Objectives of the fighter route, the objective Cloud9 is probably
5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them! All troops deployed!
so that he doesn't get that as possible. As you can see, here trying to get as much farm going as possible, but we have the pause screen up.
Must be some technical errors on either side of the team. They will just have to see how it happens going forward in this. But yeah, as you said, I feel like the jungle is pretty even. I'm actually really surprised that both teams haven't been so aggressive just yet, because both junglers, they have that early power spike. They don't need that level 4 to be able to gank lanes effectively. So the fact that they're keeping it chill, doing that full clear is a little bit interesting, but it shows that they have a decent amount of respect for each other. Just like, if they make any wrong move this early game, the entire game could just be overthrown, and it could be one-sided.
But that use of the car lead there, quite clever from the side of Cloud9. I haven't seen an XP laner being used quite in that way. But, I mean, as you were saying, once he's on that sand cloud, the mobility he has is a bit crazy. So,
actually,
if you have it, why not you use it?
I mean, I would actually not even be surprised if he equipped Wilderness Blessing, right? If we would have a look at that, I mean, it's kind of difficult to look at it as a spectator, but if he has the Wilderness Blessing, then that makes even more sense, right? Being able to just maneuver around so fast on that sand cloud, or the water cloud, or whatever you call it with that skin. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's true. But he has a nice skin, speaking about the skin. However, we get to see Julian camping out a little bit just once Carly to poke his head. He's like, oh, you poked me in the jungle, I'm going to get you back under the turret. But Carly there has the map awareness to realize that he's in a little bit of danger, so he's staying a little bit safe. As we do see the first objective up for the game, it is turtle time. As we've got Maple Leaf, Vexana camping out quite nicely. Julian starting this off. Roger deciding to go for the buff steal instead of taking that objective. But Maple Leaf realized...
Black Dragon.
Yeah,
it comes out from the Valentina. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting one. She gets all of the skills, so it's actually not such a bad steal, especially this early into the game. We see the knockup coming as well. Gonna take down one for one trade on the board, although that's still in favor of Maple Leaf because they got the turtle. The fight continues as Khalid, he's gonna go and pray in the corner there, resetting his HP bar. As it's kind of, just feeling each other out still. As I said, that respect is definitely coming out from both of the teams here. They really don't want to make any of these early game mistakes.
That is true. As we see, as you were saying, in that engagement, a very slight gold lead going to the side of Maple Leaf as we see the mid lane being cleared up and a quick rotation from the Gato and Vexana. Are they going to make it towards the gold lane? No, they decide to camp out here to get a bit more poke damage onto this Valentina. Julian, however, looks like he's about to engage upon the Khalid. No. Just playing.
No, not just yet.
Yeah, just waiting for the opportunity, the opening.
Something we haven't talked about yet is this Alice gold lane, right? And I feel like that makes so much sense. If a hero is that strong in the meta currently, you can just play it in the lane that gives you the most amount of farm. And if she gets that Clock of Destiny really, really early, she's going to be able to make so much space around the map and just win these early fights. So you could argue that C9 have drafted like a hectic early game draft. We're going to be expecting to see this come online about 6 to 7 minutes. And I'm expecting to see some blood after that. As we are seeing the team fight starting up here, looking at a knockup coming in onto that Kali, he's just barely going to be able to make it out of there. As the Roger is kind of fighting his way out, securing that escape for his team. Beautifully played by him.
Yeah, and that is the Vexana ulti being used up here. It's the Avatar Guardian being used up. Oh, the Black Dragon form coming out from the Yuzong here. I think it's with the follow-up there, they managed to CC onto the backline. That's so much damage coming out from Maple Leaf. They managed to take down 2 and the turtle.
That was very well played coming in from Maple Leaf. I mean, I was expecting I mean, it sort of makes sense, right? This comp that C9 have, it needs that, as I said, it needs that 6 to 7 minute timing, right? If you can't get there, and if the enemy keeps enough pressure on you, you're not going to really be able to hit that spike. And so they're starting to feel that little bit of like not so early game, sort of mid game sort of pressure here. I'm really liking what they're doing on Maple Leaf. They're making sure that they don't hit that timing and they don't get far ahead in the game to where they can't control it.
Yeah. As we see. The wraparound here to a certain degree. Beatrix trying to get that Alice. No, but she gets pulled in. Oh my word, that's so much damage. She just got taken out. What a beautiful ultimate coming out from the Arlot there.
Oh man, that was like a pixel perfect Arlot ulti right there. Final slash, dragging the Beatrix straight in under that tower. That's pretty much an easiest way to get a kill. Beatrix didn't even have time to pop the flicker, but oh my god, it's going to be Roger taking the kill on the top lane right here. That might be a little bit of pressure they can do onto the tower. It's going to be Getot Kacha that's going to be the one to try and defend it, but I don't think he can. This tower's going to fall down quite quickly, opening up the map a little bit more for C9.
Yeah, so first turret down for the game. In the 6th minute, as we see rotation from Alice in the mid lane, will Beatrix seize the opportunity to get some push in there? But we see the Khalid making the rotation quite quickly. But we notice stolen ultimate on the Vexana. Oh, look at the engagement from the Catch on the follow up with a Sandstorm. They managed to take down iShow Basic Alice there, getting melted in that engagement.
Oh man, I'm concerned now because if the Alice doesn't have that early timing as they were sort of expecting her to get with that gold lane, this could look really rough because I guess the argument is they still have a decent amount of late game, right, with the Roger. But as you can see, like this early game nerf to Roger is kind of hurting him right now. He's kind of trying to make a little bit of space for his team, but I mean, they get a tier 2 tower, so it's really not that bad. This game, it could go either way.
That's true. With that trade-off with the tier 2 turret, they keep the gold lead more or less even. I mean, it's not anything to write home about. It's just almost a 1k gold lead at the 7-minute mark.
As we take a quick look at the items here, it's going to be Roger finishing off that War Axe and the Wind Talker here. He's kind of farmed for 7 minutes. The Alice does manage to finish off that Clock of Destiny, so we might be seeing a little bit more aggression coming in from C9 once, because they do have a decent amount of items. Interesting item next choice for Alice, though. It's going to be that Starlium Scythe. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So she might want to, I think she's looking for a bit more of a burst combo-y kind of, item build. I think that makes a little bit of sense when it comes to, like, the other side, Maple Leaf. They have a decent amount of squishies that she's able to blow up. So, it's some more intuitive things that I'm really down to see.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose that she's going to have to... She does have a lot of initiators into team fights here with the Gato, with the Yuzong. So why would you want to build one more initiator would probably be the logic behind this. So you're going to say, right, we're going to need a bit of burst coming in here. We've got 2 initiators. Let me get that burst going for us.
So looking at cornering down this Black Dragon here, they might be able to dive him, I'm pretty sure here. Black Dragon has been committed, so the kill's not going to be as easy as they thought. Kind of just zigzagging around there, but he really wants to defend that tower, but it's going to finally fall. Surprisingly, I don't think we've seen a big team fight just yet, so I'm waiting for it to just rumble down as you hear it might come. Eternal Guardian has been committed. Yes, the Kali, he's just praying on the floor. He's still managing to survive there. It's actually going to be the Vexana finally taking him down as Roger in the bottom lane managed to chase down that Black Dragon all the way to the tier 2 tower. Oh man, just another 1-for-1 trade.
And all this with the Lord being up here, both teams are just trying to reset a little bit over the engagement. And they burst down the Orlot. Vexana picking up 2 kills here in this mid lane fight. Beatrix, meanwhile, did manage to take down the tier 2 turret on the top lane. Just to create a little bit of extra pressure for a team, clearing out this wave quite quickly. Just want to protect that mid lane turret. As we see everybody respawning, almost except for iShow Speed, but he should be there shortly. And the Lord dance begins. Kali really doing a dance there.
Oh man, they're throwing everyone at him. They don't want him to mess around with this Lord. As it falls down quite quickly, Black Dragon has been committed. I think it's looking pretty good for Maple Leaf. If we're talking strictly on late game timings, like let's say about 30 minutes or so, I think the Beatrix will be able to sort of take over the game. But if we're talking about like a 18 minutes or 20 minutes timing, I'm really liking C9's odds in this. I'm really liking their base defense on top of that as well. They can steal the Eternal Guardian or the Black Dragon form for a little bit of that set potential, as well as the fact that there's a Ala as well as a Khalid. Here we go. The Avatar of Guardian has been committed here. They're going to be able to blow up the Ala relatively quickly as they're now looking to posture in against this middle tower while the Lord marches top here. It falls down like butter. Here we go. Enhanced chains off the mark. Unfortunately, C9 are keeping their distance quite nicely as they can only just sort of retreat because the onslaught coming in from Maple Leaf is just a little bit too hectic for them to deal with at this current moment.
Yeah, that mid lane push there quite nice from the side of Maple Leaf. They have a very, very high probability of dragging this series to a 1-1. As we see the Lord making its way to it.
Oh, the final slash! It comes through, but the Julian, he still gets out with the help of that enhanced sword. The Lord has approached that tower, doing a decent amount of damage. The Black Dragon as well, just sort of disrupting the team fight just a little bit, but a beautiful knock-up is going to be what happens here as the Avatar of Guardian is going to knock up the rest of C9. It's not looking good for them, but there's going to be a killing spree coming in from the Roger. It might be his angle to clean up. Is he going to be able to get both of these kills? It's not going to be the easiest job because that is going to come back with resistance from them. Is he going to commit? I mean, he can get that movement speed up with his second skill. With the Lycan Pulse, should be able to finish off the job. But the Winter Crown! Not enough.
Yeah, that was beautiful, but yeah, just not enough. Well,
I keep wanting to call it Winter I keep wanting to call it Winter Truncheon, yeah.
It's so many years of saying Winter Truncheon. Winter Crown coming in. Yeah, but we actually got to see the nerf on Roger coming in there. Because, I mean, usually he would have had the ability to switch to that wolf form. And then Lycan pounced both of them there. You got to see that extra timing on the cooldown.
Mm-hmm.
Where it just but they had to wait to disengage and then re-engage.
Oh my god, this Alice just she's going full damage. She finished off the Stallion side, going for that Holy Crystal at this point. I can't say I'm the biggest fan of it. I'm a little bit worried about her survivability, right? She doesn't have access to that Oracle or that Dominance Ice, so she's relying purely on the survivability that Clock of Destiny is giving her. So I'm really hoping that, they need to really have a good team fight in order to make this happen, right? A decent set needs to come out from the Arlat as well as the Khalid. Other than that, it's still in Maple Leaf's favor here. I feel like they're going to, as I said, I think they scale a bit better. I think their team fight is probably just as good with the Avatar of Guardian and the Black Dragon form. But either way, it could still really just go either way, as the Lord has spawned in the top lane here. But so far, Roger, he's trying to run away here. If he gets caught out, this could be really bad news for C9. Julian, he's going to go for the chase, missing the enhanced chains, unfortunately, as the Raging Sandstorm has been committed to help Khalid get out of that one. Here we go. Alice comes in with her ultimate. She's going to hold that front line quite nicely there as, oh my god, the Avatar of Guardian, it comes down. It's going to be Khalid looking for a kill, but the Beatrix, she's got the damage as well. She wants to chase them down. Not just yet, though. She almost managed to get the Khalid. She's barely living with the help of the Revitalize. She barely manages to live through that one.
Yeah, but a nice the Roger takes her down in the back line. Lycan pounced in there, smashing out that Beatrix. She was on a killing spree, shutdown kill. This is where we're getting to see Lycan pounce once more to the turret, but Roger does fall. But this is where Cloud9 are managing to keep the team fights nice and messy. That allowed them to,
oh my god, the base.
The base. The minions were like, yeah, we're going to end this game. Let's take the Nexus down to about half health.
Oh man, I mean, these team fights are utterly chaotic, right? I don't really know if either team knows what's happening. There's so much team fight coming from both sides, and as you said, it's chaotic. The Beatrix was caught off guard several times there, just barely managing to live with the help of that Revitalize. Or did she live? I can't even remember at this point. But either way, the Enhanced Lord is available to take. Not so valuable as much for C9 as it is for Maple Leaf, right? They've already managed to take that top tier 3 tower for the side of Maple Leaf. But the enhanced Lord for C9 is going to be incredibly valued. They need to get that Lord to charge down those towers so they can get their own objective gaming sort of happening in this realm. The Lord is falling down quite fast, actually. The Numira's Passion, or Bennett's Rage, excuse me, I mixed up my ultimate names. But Roger, he's going to clean up that Gutakacha as the Black Dragon form is not able to get the right angle in this team fight just yet, as that Alice damage is coming through.
Roger there, picking up the Julian as well. So the Lord does go to the side of Maple Leaf, but Cloud9 picking up 2 kills in here and the ability to put some pressure across the map, trying to get some of those turrets down. They are running a bit behind on the turrets as we see the mid lane push coming in here. The Roger turret lock in here as the wave comes in through the mid lane. The defense coming out from Maple Leaf. Will they be able to do something? Whoa, Vexana picks up a kill, but it's basically, it's a 2 for 2 exchange or 1 for 2 exchange. It's just that the Julian is now respawned. As
they can't push
his way into the base.
They can't push because the Lord is marching down in that top lane. As you said, Roger's going to have to go and deal with it. But at the moment, they need to not get picked off. The Valentina's running for her life, dashing around, but she finally gets taken down with the Vexana. I mean, could be like an ending angle coming in from Maple Leaf. They still Lord. It's still there. If they get down this middle tower and all the minions, they could go for a base lock sort of situation. The Khalid does not have the Raging Sandstorm. No, excuse me, he does have it available, as the rest of C9 are looking in to maybe defend this one. I think they've got it in the bag.
Yeah. The team came respawned at just the right moment. The Khalid pulling that wave just lightly, just enough to make sure that he could actually protect that. Over there, the engagement comes out. Yeah, it's the rocket barrage from the Beatrix. It's Alice into the backline trying to do something, but this Beatrix sustaining through all of it. But there's the mega kill on the Roger with that Lycan Pounce coming in, taking out 2. And the Black Dragon form coming out from the Valentina stolen dragon form. And again with a clutch play with the Winter Crown, but gonna be busted down. Our Lord falls. Roger trying to escape the attentions of Yuzong, but he gets taken out here. It's gonna be another Winter Crown coming out, but...
Oh my god.
Beatrix
This could be the end of the game.
This could be the end of the game. It's just Khalid left alive to defend against Beatrix and a Yuzong. They're trying to get the waves pushed in as fast as possible to make sure that they can get the turret lock going. Khalid trying to pull this. Raging Sandstorm comes out trying to make sure that he's going to pull the waves away. He's doing such a wonderful job of doing this, getting enough time for the Alice to come inside here. She's taking so much damage from the Beatrix. Gets busted down. The turret lock, is it possible? The Yuzong takes down the Khalid. Beatrix is fallen. It's just the Yuzong gonna try to hammer the base, but he's like, no, I gotta get out of here. Julian comes in there saying maybe. No, the team has respawned. Khalid sacrificing his life, but not in vain. Kept his team in the game. Just one more round, one more fight. As we see the Lord being melted down here by the side of Maple Leaf.
Oh man, that was a really close one, but here comes the Lord dance right here. Arlot's holding that front line quite well. The Avatar Guardian coming through as the Lord, it's about half HP. Are they going to be able to steal this one? Avatar Guardian from the other person. I mean, they were seeing so many just big ultimates being stolen, but that's another Lord going to the side of Maple Leaf. They might be able to end it with this angle here. They're going to be able to pick off another member. Valentina gets taken down as it's a 3 versus 5 situation. 1 tower left to go. It's going to fall like butter as well. This could be it. They could end and focus down the turret, and it could just be the end. It just needs that Beatrix to, lay a few rocket barrages onto it, and the game could just be over. Khalid, he's gonna try his best again to savor this game, but they do it. They get the base lock as Maple Leaf will take the game number 2 of this best of 5 series.
Yeah, that was an intense match. Well played to Maple Leaf, bringing the series up to 1-1. This is going to make this next game, Rika, extremely exciting. I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen next. As you can see, the Alice did end up building that Clock of Destiny, but I mean, as you were saying, that should be one of your core items to come online. The Clock of Destiny, Dominance Ice, the Winter Crown, etc. You need that sustainability as an Alice. as opposed to the burst damage. But it was this Beatrix who, once she came online, it was just GG's, just so much damage coming out from her. Just as you can see, picking up the MVP.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense, right? The game went a bit too late for C9 to sort of respond to their mid game tempo. And when you have a marksman on your team and the enemy doesn't, and especially a marksman like Beatrix, right? That scaling power with like being able to be six slotted, just it hurts so much. BOD finished by her with the Malefic Roar and the Sea Halberd. This is nothing to laugh at when it comes to just the pure damage output. The Alice, as you said, was going for that sort of strategy with lots of damage, but yeah, it just didn't work out as much as we expected it to. She did pick up the Winter Crown at some point there, but we didn't really see any sort of big Winter Crown plays coming out. So I'm expecting to see at least a little bit of a change in draft. It felt a little bit goofy, if I might put it, of a draft coming in from C9. But things can change. Let's see what happens in Game 3.
Yeah. Well, as you were saying, right, it's maybe about 70-80% of the game that's won or lost in the drafting phase. Drafting is such a massive part of the game. As we say this, we get into the draft. First ban coming out is once again a Fanny within the first two bans. We've seen that across both semifinals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we've explained what Fanny does, right? So this hero a bit too crazy in the right hands. If they have a Fanny player that knows the ins and outs to this hero, then it's just impossible to play against. Like even if you pick counters, even if you pick the Kufra, she's just gonna maneuver her way around it. You can't catch her. So taking it out is a very wise decision indeed.
Yeah, the same can be said for the chip ban. None of the NA teams really want to face up against a good chip. Which is extremely understandable. I don't want to face up against a good chip. That ability to drag your team from literally anywhere. You can be split pushing at one point in time and then it's team fight the next. That ultimate is absolutely broken.
Mm-hmm. And it's even more broken with the fact that it immobilizes now. I've been stun locked by a chip before. It's not fun. You could even decide to run Petrify on top of it. Come out from the bush to smack him in the face, pop your ult, petrify them before the immobilize hits you. It's crazy amount of CC that this hero has now with that new change. As we are going to look at the Ruby ban coming out from the side of Maple Leaf, another reason, I mean, I said it before, this hero is not okay.
Yeah. Ruby, as we know, is just too much in the meta, too strong. So much of damage combined with the CC and those fantastic flicker plays that can come out there. It's just like hook, flicker, turret, dead. And it's like whoever gets caught in there, you're just getting CC to death. She can frontline, she can initiate, she can push waves. I mean, she can basically do it all. Apart from being one of the most ultimate flex picks in the game.
Excuse me. I mean, the flex pick of the century, right? It's just any position, pretty much anything, right? You could probably play a jungle, who if anyone cares, right? No. I'm not. That's probably not going to happen. But
Ruby mid.
Either way, we are seeing Ruby mid. We are looking at the Ling pick coming out, right? I mean, Ling ban coming out from here. Similar to Fanny, just has such a high skill ceiling that once you hit that ceiling, it's just impossible to play against. So taking it out, very good job by Maple Leaf.
Yeah, that's true. Cloud9 going for the Phoveus ban as well. So, what do we think of the Phoveus ban? With Phoveus being banned, what does that open up for them as a pick? But we do need to see the final ban coming out for them as well.
Just Phoveus, man. I think this here is also just like, people didn't really like him at the start of his rework. They were like, this here feels a little bit worse. I can't ult whenever someone dashes. But actually, it's actually just so much scarier, right? The sustainability of that ultimate and the CC from a second skill, it's a bit too much to handle. And he's still really good against mobile heroes because he gets his skills up way more often whenever, someone dashes around him. So it's just a really strong pick. And he wins. He's like a Yu Zhong. He doesn't lose his lane ever. That damage and sustainability comes through even early into the game.
That's true. I was about to mention that because Previously, he was very much a late game hero, but now he's coming online quite early as we see Maple Leaf picking up that Gatto once more.
Oh, this here, yeah, it's scary, man. As we saw in the Roman position, it's just it provides so much. You know, people have always been saying that this ultimate it's not that great. You know, the Avatar Guardian, it takes too long to set up. But you know, if you look at his kit, it's actually not so much about his ult. It's mainly about that second skill of his, that taunt, as well as that reflect damage. It's just so crazy. And you know, the Avatar Guardian is just it's just a bonus.
Exactly. What you really need is an initiator in the team, and then you can layer that Avatar of Guardian on top of that. But we see here I show speed going for the Matilda pick. Nats, they're picking up the Terizla on the XP lane. Nasty Wayne with a Nolan pick, and we get to see how strong the Nolan is at this moment in time. That crazy mobility, the damage coming out here. We do know that his first and second skill have been nerfed slightly in terms of the timing, but that cooldown on the ultimate, I mean, how does that improve your jungle clear? He could be one of the fastest jungle clearers at the moment.
Yeah, no. If we look at the Nolan in this game, he's just going to be spamming that ultimate on jungle creeps, man. Like I've been playing a little Nolan myself. That's just what you do. You just use your ult on any sort of a bigger buff or whatever, and it doesn't matter. You'll most definitely have it up for the next fight. But I'm a little bit concerned about this Nolan pick. I don't think it's that good here. You can't really blow up the Terizla, and if you go on someone else that's a bit squishier, the Matilda's there to save them with the guarding winds. So it's a little bit of a risky pick. Maybe he's going for some sort of out farming sort of strategy, right? Because he does jungle exceptionally fast. Probably, arguably a lot faster than, let's say, the likes of Hayabusa, except for the fact that he doesn't really fight any of these guys. Like, you can't really hit those dimensional risks on the Hayabusa because he's going in and out with that quad shadow and the shadow Ogi kill, right? So I'm a little bit concerned for Nasty Wayne right there.
Well, I suppose it's all going to come down to timing. He's got to get his team to. He's going to have to delay that engagement, wait for the right opportunity, and then just jump into the back line and pop off. As we see the Alice ban coming out from the side of C9. This time around, they were like, okay, wait. Let's get rid of this Alice from the show. Louis. No diversion play is going to be coming out for. Will we be able to see with the Louis ban? As we got Mark QT with the final ban for the side of Cloud9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm liking the bans here. Liu Yi it's a bit like Chip, right? It's actually the correct way to say it is that Chip is like Liu Yi. She's like the original. But I mean, the hero it's quite strong, right? We saw that there was a Liu Yi meta pretty briefly, like a few months ago. Just lots of damage, and that's a diversion opening up to a lot of plays. It's kind of scary. Oh, there's a Beatrix ban actually coming out from the side of C9. They're going to respect that one. You can see how deadly it was from the side of Maple Leaf, so they're not messing around.
Yeah, Beatrix doing 32% of the team fight damage, hero damage in the last matchup. So they were like, yeah, let's get it out of the hands of Nova there. And Faramus as the final ban for Maple Leaf.
I think, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty decent ban. I'm not so sure if it was necessary, though. I mean, maybe they just don't want to take the Netherrealm away. They don't want to have that counter matchup between the two. Even though I would say it's kind of I'd say it's favorable to Valentina, but anyway, it is what it is. As Aisha Basic, he's going to go in for that 1-1. I quite like this pick into the Gatot, actually. We've been saying that Gatot is a hero that can blow up the enemy marksmen quite well, but 1-1, she has that option to dispel that stun, and if she gets her ultimate off, she doesn't really care about what the Gatot does with that reflect damage.
True.
I've actually blown away right now. How have I never thought about 1-1 being a Gatot counter?
Yeah. What do you think about the Aegis as a spell? It's gonna be I show basic stick into the Aegis. Will they change that spell? Go for traditional Inspire?
I mean, the Inspire is nice, right? I feel like the Aegis is gonna be kind of valuable, especially if you don't have your second skill up to purify that taunt coming in from the Gatot. So the Aegis is gonna be able to nullify that damage a little bit, especially against the Nolan, right? Inspire doesn't really help you that much against the Nolan if you get caught by him. So the Aegis will sort of offset that burst damage. As we're now looking at Franco coming in from Maple Leaf, that's gonna be spicy. I want to see some aim hacks coming out from him.
Yeah, that
But
Franco is gonna provide a lot of lockdown. I mean, maybe the lockdown that they needed.
But that's what I said, like to you yesterday, Waylander, was that suppression, it comes online after a few games after playing each other, right? Because that's when you know who to lock down, which enemy team member is the biggest threat. And with that flicker bloody hunt, that's probably the most reliable stun in the game outside of maybe the divine judgment, right?
That's true. And we got to see how effective having a Kaja was in yesterday's matches. In the previous semifinals, which was qualifier losers up against Aim High. Aim High going for the Kaja pick quite a few times. To great effect.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen here in the Land of Dawn. We might have a little bit of problem with the stream from our end, but either way, there we go.
Just resetting itself. Okay, so we're back in the Land of Dawn. It's gonna be the Nolan taking out his blue buff there with the Hayabusa on the same side of the jungle, clearing out his red. In terms of mid lane clear, look, the Matilda is gonna cause so much of problems here.
Valentina, notoriously not the best clearer when it comes to the mid. She struggles quite a lot. You have to choose between taking your first and second skill. I think your first skill is probably a little bit better. But this Aurora, it's just a non-stop hailstorms right there. It's keeping this Valentina out right now, missing the freeze, unfortunately. Oh, but there we go. She can't lane here anymore. The pressure's a bit too much. Aisha's speed is backing that fact up as well. And Franco's just going to sit there and be like, oh, I guess I'm going to take the farm.
Yeah, a lot of early game pressure with Nolan comes in there. Oof. Well,
nice hook.
What a hook from Franco. But oh my word, Hayabusa comes in with a follow-up. Are they going to be able to take down the Nolan? Oh, he escapes.
Oh man, this is C9 telling the enemy team that they're serious now. They were just fooling around in game one. This is some insane zoning pressure on a professional level here. I've never really seen it in action so personally. So I feel like they've taken their training socks off. They're gonna be just give it their all this time.
Yeah. China, as we can see, the countdown, it is turtle time. Hayabusa just trying to get as much farm as he possibly can. Both XP laners want to rush that level 4 to try and have that big ultimates, Avatar of Guardian, penalty zone for the turtle dance that will begin shortly. Valentina now can finally come online, got the dashes there to be able to escape the attentions of the Aurora.
We saw Mark UT, probably one of our favorite Valentina players, right? So he knows how to match up. He knows what to do against her. As you see the shadow kill coming out, almost taking out the Valentina just after Mark shortly. But the turtle, it's all in the favor of C9 right now. I don't see any way they approach this and steal it.
Yeah, just too much of CC with the Aurora and the Terizla there. Matilda providing those shields and escapes. And the mobility to actually jungle a bit faster, if you think about it.
Man, I really need to brush up on my Hayabusa, man. When you're looking at someone like this guy play him, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name because it's in Chinese characters, but, he's making it seem so smooth, just so, free-minded that, it really just shows that Hayabusa is still a relevant hero, right? He has gotten that little slight nerf with his ultimate, but it doesn't really matter that much just because he can go in and out with that quad shadow still, and he can blow up singular targets when he wants to.
That is true. The damage output's a bit crazy from him on single targets.
As now we're all looking at sort of a, early mid game, late early game, as you want to say that. coming out here. Might see a little bit of action top lane right now. Got a Kacha. That's something I was talking about. You know, you mainly want to keep it on Roam, but it can be an XP, right? They're going to opt to go put that get out on the XP lane, especially versus the hero like 1-1. I know I said that 1-1 is a counter matchup, but the hook coming through with the bloody hunt. They might be able to catch the higher booster here. Avatar of Guardian connects as it's going to be the stolen Frigid Glacier finishing the job. Their beautiful amount of like stun layering coming out from Maple Leaf. You know, they also got their training wheels on. I mean, off, right? They're playing it serious here. They know how to keep a higher booster on lockdown.
Yeah. That was well played by the side of Maple Leaf. But have you noticed an interesting play coming out from the side of Cloud9 here? If you'll notice, and you'll see this quite often, the XP laner makes quite a few rotations towards the mid lane, leaving the farm open for the Hayabusa whenever the opportunity arises. His own farm from the XP lane. Once it gets to that 5-minute mark, you'll start seeing that more and more often as we see the engagement onto the Nolan. Matilda low, Aurora low, has to recall as Terizla gets this turtle started. Gato coming in there.
This should be an easy turtle coming in from the side of Maple Leaf. If they can just... it's never mind. I take that back completely. You know, that the pressure is there. Nolan, he's about half HP, so he's been whittled down just a little bit here. If he can blow it up fast enough, he might be able to get away from this high booster. He gets the Retribution. Nasty Wayne able to do it. The Avatar of Guardian does connect on him, but he's going to be able to get away with a quad shadow. Frigid Glacier does connect on to that. Get a Kacha, but he's still alive. He's quite tanky.
Oh, I think we're going to a follow-up engagement. Here's the shadow kill into the backline. Oh my god, the Franco escapes with 1 HP. Beautiful timing in there from Cloud9 with that with a Hayabusa engaging. It's the light ultimate coming out from
oh my god,
the Lunox. Are they gonna hunt her down? She's trapped out there. Will they be able to get the kill? Yes, they do. It's gonna be Aurora picking up the kill on the Lunox as the 1-1 pushes down that turret. Be the first turret of the game falling. They're in the gold lane.
I can't believe I missed the fact that there's a Lunox gold lane here. It completely went over my head. I mean, yeah, it's a pretty decent pick into the 1-1, right? Has that high magic burst, and it doesn't really need to be any sort of skill shots involved. You know, that dark ulti, you can pop it and just start spamming it and taking down that 1-1 real quick. Obviously, you can like dodge the crossbow tang as well with the brilliance. It sort of helps out in that way as well. But either way, you know, it's not a marksman, right? Even like ultra late game, the 1-1, I would argue is still gonna take over this game once you get to items.
Yeah, as we see, Frigid Glacier coming out here, but look at the hook from the Franco into the bloody hunt, getting that passive proc. Avatar of Guardian coming in to seal the deal. Nolan timing so nicely to get into the backline there, forcing the Matilda and Terizla to back off as they want to get this mid lane pushed in. It is about 1 HP on Maple Leaf's mid lane tower, though. As we see the timer, it is down to 5 seconds. It's going to be the next major objective. But we've got Hayabusa, gets a kill in the backline as we see the engagement here. Oh, Flicker, penalty zone, lands onto one, but they managed to take down the Lunox. Beautiful play from C9 Nuts on the Terizla. Flicker penalty zone. Bye-bye, Lunox.
Oh man, they're definitely like keeping the pressure up. You know, there's only one tower taken on the side of Maple Leaf. The pressure is there from C9. They've taken a few tier 2s as well by the looks of it. So they're not playing around whatsoever. Here comes the Circling Eagle from that Matilda. Is she going to be able to get them in? But the Nolan comes in with a fracture, blows up the Matilda, punishes her for getting a little bit too handsy with it. But the Frigid Glacier in response, they're going to be able to take down the Franco. Terizla comes in with a penalty zone, not able to set up a kill just yet though, as the Valentina comes in with the Avatar of Guardian. It's going to connect with that Revitalize. He's holding that front line quite well. Brilliance committed by Lunox. She's going to be able to get the kill onto Mark UT, as now here he comes the Hayabusa with the shadow kill. Is he going to be able to get the kill though with the crossbow of Tang? I don't think there's any living that deadly combo when there's like two people just hitting you from who knows where, right? You know, they're both invulnerable while they use these spells.
Yeah. That is true. Both are like so sort of immortal as they go into the shadow kill, the crossbow tag. Lord is up at this moment in time, but I'm sure that C9 is just waiting for their frontliners to come into front line for them. But
Yeah.
the 1-1 getting this Lord started, taking it down
Yeah,
quite quickly.
there's no way that they contest this. I mean, unless there's a really cool Avatar of Guardian that comes out, they're going to be able to get that Lord easily with that Retribution here. Lunox in a bit of a dangerous waters here. Is going to get caught out by that 1-1, but she blows the 1-1 up as the Matilda gets at least a kill onto the Franco in response. But now this Lunox, she has to pay for what she did. She did the outplay on the 1-1. She's trying to get away with the brilliance here, but she finally gets taken down with a nice Avatar of Guardian on top of it. Will do a decent job at sort of reprimanding them. Marky T is going to be able to finish off that Nolan as they now chasing down the Valentino with that stolen circling eagle. Oh man, this is just going to be a wipeout, I'm pretty sure. Unless Gatot with that revitalize might be able to fight it out. He gets one kill onto that Aurora, but she has the passive. As it's just a Franco here left to defend this by himself. It's the Nolan's only up in 10 seconds. They should be able to get maybe one tower here, although that shockwave coming in from the tower should be able to keep himself alive with that turret. The Lord, it still wants to pressure down here, though.
Yeah, but the full team's up for Maple Leaf should be able to get onto the defense here. But I mean, this is the unenhanced Lord for the game. You generally want to use this to take it down as many tier 2 turrets as you possibly can, as we see Cloud9 doing at this moment in time, just to get a bit of map control. It's usually you wait for that enhanced Lord timing, unless you're snowballing, like really snowballing, that you can end the game with us. But let's get to see. They want to try and force some of the tier 3 turrets down. 1-1 getting the turret lock on there. Oh, but the hook comes out from the Franco onto the Terizla. Deadly Hunt as well. The Avatar of Guardian lands. They're going to be... but the penalty zone onto 3. Follow-up damage from the team. Blowing up all 3. Maybe the Bloody Hunt and the Terizla wasn't the right thing at that moment in time. That penalty zone.
I mean, that's probably the end of the game here. I don't see any way coming out of this. Thinking this tower lock here, they're going to be able to freeze up the Lunox as well. No chance to defend right there. They're out of minions. You know, the game. Maybe the game isn't over here. They got a little bit too carried away with the recalling, but they're not feeling any pressure though. They are definitely still ahead in this game. You know, if we look at the goal lead, it's about 7,000. So. You know, they're chilling and, you know, they just need to get one more Lord and this game should be over unless we see like a miracle play, right? We're looking for maybe a hook onto the Hayabusa with the Bloody Hunt or maybe like a stolen Frigid Glacier 5-man, you know, situation. That could sort of change things around.
Yeah. Well, they do have, as we saw in not the last, but the prior team fight, if that Gato lands the Avatar of Guardian, it could spell a bit of disaster here. Are Cloud9 going to regret not going for the turret lock? All their confidence pay off. Ooh, look at the damage onto the Nolan 1-1 picking up the kill here. It's going to be Franco. Take it down as well. Yeah, I think it's a little bit too much to deal with right now for Maple Leaf. This 1-1, she's online. Oh, but she managed to escape crossbow tag, which does get taken down and penalty zone. Managing to take out the Valentina there as we see the waves being pushed in. Do we get to see the turret lock? Killing spree on the Hayabusa there as the wave is being pushed in. And Terizla is saying, wait, I'm just going to turret lock. Yeah, I want to end this. And it is Cloud9 taking the third match in this best of 5 series, now leading 2-1. So, Rika, what do you think? I mean, look at the performance there from him. Lowest score of 8.4.
Oh man, that's like night and day to the last game we saw, right? That's like an insane difference of, you know, they're not fooling around anymore. They're going to be picking Marquity on Aurora, who just dominated that mid lane completely from J Law. I mean, he didn't have any chance to sort of contest or come up close to that lane. And going as well from the jungle, you know, Nasty Wayne did not really have any sort of angle to sort of carry this game like a Nolan usually does, right? You want to be aggressive with the Nolan. You want to be getting early kills. You want to be getting the mid kills. and blowing people up as fast as you can. But as I said, it's not the easiest Nolan game. You know, the best target for you in this game is Aurora, and that's not so easy, right? Especially if she has the passive. So I think this was a little bit of a drafting issue. You know, I'm not, as I said before, I'm not the biggest fan of the Gatot Kacha XP lane. I feel like I think he's a bit better suited to go roam. But either way, it was a pretty close game. It was a pretty close game earlier, but now this was a complete stomp.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, but hats off to Nuts there on the Terizla, dealing and taking the most amount of damage for his team. Those penalty zones were beautifully timed, setting it up for his team to just come in and finish everything off. That was some top-tier play from Nuts there on the Terizla. Will we see a respect ban in this next game? I know I definitely, if I was Maple Leaf, I'm like, I'm going to get the Terizla out of that man's hands.
Mm-hmm. All right, Wayland, we are at a match point situation. C9, they can take this one tonight if they do win this next match. You know, maybe they're gonna keep if their training wheels are off. You know, they could steamroll this one completely. But you know, I think the biggest reason that they won that game actually was because of the draft. You know, I really did prefer the side of C9's draft compared to Maple Leaf in that game. They just seem to make a bit more sense. So, you know, it's up to Maple Leaf to maybe draft a bit of a better team. I know I'm sounding a little bit of a meanie by saying it that way, but it's just what happened, I think.
I agree with you. It did come down, as it usually does, to drafting. Everything is always drafting. As we all know, it is one of the most important aspects of the game.
Mm-hmm. As we're looking at the first two bands coming out, yeah, I mean, as it's the usuals, right? You don't want to see a Ruby, you don't want to see.
That's true. That is true. Oh, we've got the polls going in the chat here. Let's see what everybody's saying. So far in the chat, we've got 59% of 56% of the votes going to C9. So the fans out here, all back in C9, or well, half of them, more than half, back in C9. For everybody tuning in to watch this game, thank you for watching us with us as we get into the drafting phase of this potentially final matchup. As we see C9 going for the Ruby Jawhead bands coming out straight off the bat, and Maple Leaf with a Fanny band once again. Nasty Wayne, who is he going to be banning out there? What do you think?
I mean, Nasty Wayne, yeah, I mean, the Alice, I think, needs to be banned out. I feel like, you know, if you're playing it serious, you're not doing this funny Starlium Scythe build. I feel like if you're playing it like normally with like a Dominance Ice and an Oracle, then, you know, I think it's such a big threat. You have to get rid of it. But other than that, you also see the chip getting taken out, you know, some pretty standard stuff here.
That is true. We've got a Monster Hunter player 2 in the live chat saying, no, MPL is cracking, Maple Leaf's cracking. Well, I'm sure you're as a Maple Leaf fan, you're going to see them try to bring things back. Even the series up 2-2. Take us into a fifth game. Oh, well, what do you think? Will C9 be able to close out the series with a final win here?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. I feel like that's you know, that steamroll effect definitely comes online, right? You know, you take a victory on your opponent, you're feeling yourself, you start to, you know, just feel nice and confident, and you play better when you're confident, that's for sure. You know, you don't want to be playing when you're feeling down, and that's exactly what C9 are trying to drill into Maple Leaf's heads. They're trying to say, I'm better than you. But we'll just have to see if Maple Leaf crack under the pressure. Can they come together and take this one?
Yeah, as we see Cloud9 with the Gato band coming out here. Finally, if someone's like, I just don't want to see that hero anymore.
I mean, with the Gato band, right? Yeah, I mean, with the Gato band, they can like look at more traditional marksmen. Like the 1-1 did pretty damn well against the Gato, right? But maybe they just don't want to keep running, you know, the same 1-1 here. They want to go for something like a Beatrix, as we saw earlier in that first game. So we might see it come up, maybe not. As the Matilda band coming in, a bit of a respect one coming in from Maple Leaf.
Yeah, getting ISO speed off that Matilda. Doing so much work for his team in the previous game, especially combining with the Terizla in there. That was some beautiful play from the two of them. Oh, but we do see the Phoveus being left open and the Phoveus being locked down. I show basic getting that Phoveus pick in there.
Isn't maths their XP laner? So it's very interesting that basic is taking it. Is this the gold lane Phoveus? Actually, I didn't think about that. Right. We've seen the fighter gold lane meta coming through recently, and Phoveus, I've seen him in the gold lane. It's not bad. He can definitely fill that position.
That is true. I mean, he's got Flame Shot there. Maybe.
I mean, maybe he hasn't played Phoveus since the rework, so I think that's maybe what's happening here. He's most definitely is going to switch. I don't see a way that he keeps Flame Shot here, but maybe he's uncertain.
Yeah. Flame Shot. Let me ask you this. Is Flame Shot the weakest spell in the game?
No, I mean it's definitely the one of the least popular. I think the number one least popular one definitely might go to a rival or something like that, right? But
Yes.
but I think there is a place for Flame Shot. It does have a little bit of counterplay. One of my favorite things to do is use Flame Shot on a Yin. When he comes in with that second skill dashes in, you just Flame Shot him away. It cancels my turn. So it's a bit of an interesting matchup there. As you are going to see Mark UT taking up that Valentina, the classic, the legendary, the infamous Mark UT Valentina that we all know. It's so scary, man. So in Maple Leaf, they need to be very, very cautious about how they approach this next phase of the draft. There's already a Ling in the pool, so they have to have an answer for that. So far, I don't really see one. Maybe Edith can lock him down if she gets a little bit lucky or gets quite accurate with that second skill to knock him up. But they need something a bit more reliable. Maybe, we saw what Kaja can do. I'm kind of liking the Kaja pickup, possibly from Maple Leaf.
Yeah, that's true. It's some hard lockdown because the animation of or the timing of the stuns coming out from the Edith is a little bit too slow to try and lock down a Ling, or at least a good Ling, which we have from the side of Cloud9.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but there's the Beatrix coming out from the side of Nova there, saying, "Yeah, you
as I said,
Beatrix."
As I said, one of my favorite heroes, man. I just love having 4 different basic attacks or 4 different ultis. It's such a nice feeling. I think it's definitely a pretty decent pick here, right? It doesn't have too many dashes. It can sort of punish the Phoveus from getting too involved in the team fights, because if he gets too near the Beatrix in a late game situation, he's really going to just start melting down. So he needs to be a bit cautious about how he approaches those late game team fights. If we even get to a late game scenario, I mean, as you can see right now, I think this is going to be a Ling hyper carry. Nats is still going to be able to pick up an XP laner here, or maybe if they want to go for a little bit of late game themselves, they can still opt to get the marksman and swap it out with basic. It could go either way. I think I would suggest that, because basic right here, it looks like he's been playing, the last time he played Phoveus was last patch.
Yeah. With that Flame Shot being on the screen, yeah, most definitely. So Maple Leaf banning out the Tigreal, and we're getting down to the last couple of seconds. What are Cloud9 going to respond with? Though we were just talking about the Kaja. Clever from them.
There we go. Professional call-outs by your boy Rika here, just predicting what the teams are going to do. I'm kidding.
Well, the Kaja fan being brought in there, they don't want to have that too hard of a lockdown onto the Ling. I mean, Kaja is much more reliable at locking down a Ling, as opposed to a Franco, you could say, because Franco's got to have at least the flicker to try and get in close.
Well, I mean, it goes either way, right? Both spells, Bloody Hunter and Divine Judgment, do the same thing. I think the trade-off between the two of them is Divine Judgment obviously has the added benefit of being able to drag them into your team, which is just such a valuable tool. The trade-off is obviously the hook, right? The hook is also able to do that, but that's all up to skill and skill shots. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Franco coming out from the side of Maple Leaf. I think it still could be viable. I just feel like, they have to be really confident in it. And after that last game, I think they've lost confidence. You've been in like a tournament sort of game situations where, you've said to your team, I'm going to play this hero. You get absolutely dominated. You really don't want to pick that hero again.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Because it's like But as we've seen across the two matches here, especially in the semifinals that we've been casting, these teams they really love like when they get a comp that works for them, they kind of stick to that particular composition. Especially in the first semifinal, it was almost all four games we saw very similar comps right across the board. But I'm with you. I've like once you dominate with a particular hero, you know that the enemy is going to possibly come up with some potential strategies to knock you off your game there. Um, so I like to kind of switch it up a little bit, but it depends. Each to their own, I suppose.
I want to see the Nana, man. Give me the Nana. No. Okay, it's okay. We're going to go for the Vexana here. I quite like this pick a lot. You can never underestimate the like the skill range of that first skill, that Terrify of that hand that Vexana throws. Even as a Ling, you need to be very cautious of it. As we're gonna see the classic Beatrix counter pick, it's gonna be the Lolita. I don't know if you know this, but the rocket launcher, the rocket barrage, the ultimate can actually be reflected by the Lolita, and it's actually even stronger than the original because what it does is it focuses all of the bombs into one specific area.
Oh my word!
So what ends up happening is I've seen this before. The Beatrix throws the rocket barrage. It gets reflected. It hits back on the Beatrix. 100-0 every single time. It's 100-0.
Whoa! This is gonna be something special to watch. So Nat's there. Okay, yeah, we see the swap of players. I show basic picking up the Clint there. Nat's there going on a Phobius and the spell change. It's a Purify. Reshi finally picking up that Yuzong pick as the last pick for the side of Maple Leaf.
Come on, pick my favorite skin there, Beatrix. Go for the Prime. No. That's like my favorite skin in the entire game is that Beatrix Prime skin. Maybe there's a little bit of like a professional sort of standing on it, right? Maybe there's a little bit of the skill animations are a bit too much so that it gives away a little bit of information to the enemy, when you're using skills and such. But I mean, either way works. I mean, still a decent Starlight skin coming out from the Beatrix there. But yeah, Waylander, enough about skins here. What are you thinking of this draft as we get into the match point for C9?
I'm really liking C9's draft here. We do the Phobius, the Valentina with the out steals. She's going to be able to steal that Eternal Guardian away from the Vexana. You've got the Lolita coming in as a hard counter to the Beatrix. Clint should have a decent laning phase against the Beatrix. I mean, that's just I really am liking that draft. I mean, I'm not to say that Maple Leaf's draft is not good or decent. It's just when it comes to the whole team fight moments in time, I'm really liking the way C9 are set out here. You got a Ling with a backline and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is another drafting sort of gap here. If I'm being honest, we'll just have to see how they do. I think the Julian's not too bad here so far, especially since this early game it's coming down. It's J Law gonna be able to get that first blood with that Vexana. I don't know how she got the kill. She was like far away from it.
Yeah, I suppose that when the passive procced. But the stun onto the Clint. Do they have the lockdown? He gets the flicker. Manages to stun the Edith under the tower. Oh my word. Edith manages to escape. Play and outplay happening here in the gold lane.
Yeah, I mean, Beatrix, I think Beatrix's biggest weakness is definitely like her mid-game timing. Her early game is not too bad. She doesn't get any kills in lane, but she definitely can like clear the lane fast. That's her like biggest strength in the early game here. But when there's a Lolita, what do? You can't do anything because your basic attacks just get reflected. You're literally your entire hero. So she's gonna have to wait for the Lolita to get out. She sees that she's rotated into the bottom, so she might be able to get a bit of farm now.
Yeah, so Primal Wrath being stolen by the Valentina there. As we see Julian getting this turtle started, team coming into position. Valentina trying to just get some poke damage in there. Link creating the angle, but it's gonna be the Nolan picking up that the Reshi there, getting that turtle. Tempest of Blades does come out from the Link. I don't know.
What, Nolan?
Julian. Julian.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good steal. Barely a steal, right? He managed to secure it for his team. A pretty good early game actually coming out from Maple Leaf here. They really need to be able to keep up this pressure, and they can actually take this game, make it a 2-2 on the scoreboard here for the semifinals. They just need to be able to keep the pressure, just as I says. Nasty Wayne, he's going to do exactly that in the bottom lane as well. The Beatrix going to be able to pick up a kill onto that Clint with the help of that Edith. As you can see, that level 4 power spike on the Beatrix has come into fruition as they are dominating pretty much every single lane, bar maybe the gold lane coming in from C9.
Yeah.
I mean, the XP lane, excuse me.
Yeah. I mean, they've built up a 2k gold lead this early in the game at 3 minutes. The Lolita, she's trapped around the turret there, but you don't really want to engage Lolita underneath the turret. Edith's just hanging around you. Hey, if you notice, the Edith's just been spending a lot of time on that gold lane.
Yeah, I mean, she has to, right? Because your marksman's hard counted. You have to give her some sort of game here. We are going to see the stun coming out, though. It's going to be that Beatrix. She's going to be able to pick up another kill, as well as the Edith onto the Lolita. I mean, this is not the C9 I know. They're sort of struggling here in this match.
Yeah, it's 0-5 at this moment in time. This is going to be a difficult early game to come back from. Maple Leaf putting the screws into the game really early. Oh, look at the shotgun.
Oh, shotgun!
Yeah.
Oh, not enough damage, right? It's still early game, right? So the shotgun and the sniper rifle specifically, those two weapons, they scale really, really well with damage. Oh, we are going to see Marky T. He's getting gone on here. He's going to get blown up by the Vexana. Oh, man, it's not looking easy for C9 at this current moment, as Phoveus as well. He's sort of getting a little bit bullied by the Zhuzhong as well. He's managing to sustain through it, as it's another turtle going to the side of Maple Leaf.
Yeah, Maple Leaf really dominating here in the early game. Building up a 3k gold lead this early on. It's not even the 5, but it's just getting to the 5-minute mark. 3k gold lead with a turret advantage, 6-0 in terms of the kills. I mean, what are C9 gonna do to be able to bring this back? They need.
I feel like it still is. I feel like it still is a bit early, right? It's definitely not good news for C9. They still like a bit under pressure here, but they have the angles to do this, right? The Ling, he needs to maybe finish up one more item and he can start getting kills like this. You know, maybe even going to do it before that. But look at the damage coming in for the Beatrix. Yeah, it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Oh man.
Yeah, that Beatrix just a little bit too much damage at this moment in time, but at least Ling does pick up the kill as well.
Two lords?
Yeah.
There's two Eternal Guardians right now just fighting each other in the middle here as the Edith comes in with the Primal Wrath, can be able to do a lot of damage, take down the Phoveus before he can start jumping around like Super Mario, as we said, as the Black Dragon here is joining in this mid lane. They want to try and take down this middle turret. They should be able to get it without any sort of contention here.
Yeah,
Julian from Maple Leaf.
Yeah, Julian getting the correct angle in there, picking up Lolita as she tried to get back to the base to heal up. Nice from Nasty Wayne there, finding the right angle to get the pick off.
Yeah, this is Maple Leaf. They're doing such a good job of just keeping C9 on their toes, you know, and they're not giving him any sort of leeway to get a comeback here as they know. Oh, but the Beatrix caught out of position. This could be the turning point they're looking for as the Phoveus, he's going in as we see the pause request after that. I mean, that might be a bit of an interesting one to ask for a pause after you start winning a fight, but I mean, hey, that's pretty good. I mean, these kills are really important for C9 to get. They can turn this into a pretty decent like net worth advantage that they can start coming back from. You know, if they can get a few more of like trades like this, they can definitely sort of, you know, make this game a little bit more even.
Yeah, that's true. If they get a few more pickoffs like that, they've got to try and get this to be a little bit more messy. Try and force Maple Leaf around the map there to get those potential pickoffs. create the space for Ling to. I mean, they do have the ability to do so with a Ling on your draft because Ling has that extremely high mobility. He can split push across the map to try and create pressure elsewhere to give his team the opportunity to get that farm to sort of even out the gold lead. Because I mean, it is sitting at roughly close to around 5K. I'm not sure what it's going to be once we get out of this pause screen into the matchup here. What the goal lead is because C9 did pick up a couple of kills. As we see the timer going down, yeah, it's back into the match now. Mid lane
I think the
being pushed
pause
up.
is just okay. Oh, Mr. Blade's going to save them from the Eternal Guardian as it's going to be Mark UT Schofield picking up the triple kill here. Oh man, that's one person you do want to give a bit of net worth to is Mark UT. He's just such a scary menace. You know, when he has a little bit of farm, we've always seen what a Valentina can do. It's not all about the ultimate, right? That first second skill combo, it can blow up a squishy at any point in time at a moment's notice. She's going in for the genius one. I quite like that, right? There's quite a lot of squishies on the enemy team, so she's going to be able to, you know, play a little bit like an assassin in these sort of situations.
Yeah, especially with that, excuse me, double dash, where she has that mobility to get in and out of trouble, and with the taunt that comes with it. Just at least provide a bit of CC for her team. Phoveus just getting a bit of poke damage.
You know, I'm expecting to see a little bit more impact from the Phoveus so far. You know, I feel like it kind of does struggle a little bit into the Yuzhong, that's for sure. Anyway, the team fight's going to start out here. The Numenon blast off the mark, unfortunately, as the Black Dragon form is just sort of, you know, leveraging the team fights, you know, minimalizing all sort of threats that are coming their way. Beautifully played by Ureshi right there.
Yeah.
I think this is
dragon form to create the space so they could take that tier 2 turret. But as you can see, just as we were saying earlier, Ling creating the pressure across the map, trying to make this a bit messy, forcing the Julian and then the Yuzong to make the rotation across there. So he's creating that space for his team so that they can get that farm lead a bit evened up. As you can see, it's dropped down from the 5K to a 3K gold lead. I mean, it's still about an item and a half though.
Or one blade of despair, right? That's you know, it's even ground except one person has a blade of despair, and that person is Beatrix, right? She's got that item finished with that 3,000 extra gold right there. So she's gonna definitely hurt when it comes to these engagements, especially since she has the Malefic Roar as well, right? That's gonna make sure that the Lolita when her shield is down, she's really gonna feel the blasts coming in from those basic attacks, whether it be from the Nibiru, the SMG, or the rocket launch. Bennett. Either way, I feel like in Maple Leaf they should still have this under control, right? They've got the Lord sort of pressure here with the Black Dragon sort of moaning around the area, but Phoveus wants a little bit of action on the Julian here. Might be able to get him. He's going to get away with that enhanced sword.
But again, nice from I'm watching the Ling very carefully there. Nice from him in terms of the decision making, forcing both the Beatrix and the Edith all the way across the map, using that mobility to get back into position. As you see, once again, he's allowing his team to try and deal with what's happening. The Black Dragon form does come out, trying to get close, but Beatrix does pick up the Lord. It is the unenhanced Lord, so they do have the ability to defend this as long as they keep the waves a bit uneven. But with Cloud9 using this moment in time to actually use the Ling, which is a good pick to try and come back here. Will they be able to come back here, or will Maple Leaf just seal the deal and manage to take this game or the series into a 5th matchup here? Let's get to see. They had a lot of control and dominance in the early part of the game, but Cloud9 bringing it back a little bit. As we see Ling engaging onto Julian in the bot lane there. Who's going to win that matchup? It's Ling.
I think we missed that, but I saw the last part of it. Definitely some fast fingers coming out from the Ling right there. But here we go. So base defense coming in from C9. They should be able to get it quite nice and safely out of the sort of threat range. They can see that shockwave. It should be able to get rid of the minions. But here we go. Maple Leaf, they want to keep the pressure. The Black Dragon form has been committed. The Lord, it's going to be able to get a little bit of damage on the tower, but not that much actually. It's going to be the Phobius coming in, holding that front line here. He's going all by himself. His team's finally coming in for the job as the Edith pops that Primal Wrath, but the shield coming in from Lolita is going to be able to wear her off. Chase her away while the Ling is actually been pushing down the bottom lane here. So, there's a little bit of pressure coming through. Lolita comes in with a Numenon Blast, getting them down, stunning them up a little bit. Ling wants to try and go for the cleanup here. Tempest Blade comes out, is trying to get this Beatrix here, but gets controlled up. Not going to be able to finish off the job as the Vexana is actually the one to just, disengage that team fight beautifully, making sure that they don't lose any, they don't take any casualties here.
Did you notice that the Rita has Revitalize? I'm actually looking at it at this moment.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a really, really strong spell for her because it amplifies like the shield effects coming in from her passive, as well as the Flask of the Oasis, which she picked up for her first item.
Oh. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, Concealed Play coming out from the side of Maple Leaf. They want to go on the hunt. Black Dragon form coming out there. They managed to get the flick out of the way, but it's gonna be the Phobius that gets burst down. But Ling, way, all the way across the map, he's just pushing and pushing and pushing.
I feel like this is a bit dangerous coming in from the Beatrix here. I mean, it could go either way, right? She still has the flicker available. The Ling not going to be able to pick her off just yet, as we are seeing the chains connecting onto the Ling. He's going to have to pop that Tempest of Blades, going in for all 4 swords. He should be able to get out of this one. Here comes the fast hands. It's going to be Mark UT that picks up the kill, actually. Beautifully play coming in from C9.
That was, wow, that was layered so beautifully there. As the game now is swinging a bit into the direction of Cloud9. I mean, they've evened this gold out. I was wondering what they were going to do with so much of early game pressure, but oh my word, Clint taking down the Edith. He's coming online with the damage here. They're zoning them away from this Lord, and this is gonna be the enhanced Lord. That split push strategy coming out from the Ling, from the side of Cloud9, really helping them out there.
Yeah, it forced the Beatrix to come back. That's the most important thing, right? Without the Beatrix on their team, they do lack quite a lot of damage. Julian's damage kind of falls off just a little bit. I'm not going to say it falls off completely, right? Because we all know how much damage this hero can do. It's just how you apply the damage in these late game situations gets a little iffy, right? Especially against the Lolita, who can reflect that enhanced, enhanced scythe. It's not the easiest thing to play into. As we are now looking at the team fight coming out here, the Black Dragon form comes out. It's going to do a decent amount of zoning so far. The shield, though, dropping anything from jumping over their side as the Numenon Blast cleans up a few. It's actually going to be the Eda taking down a few kills as the Valentina unstoppable at this point. The Lord is marching down that bottom lane, so it's going to be able to crash the tower since it's enhanced. They're going to try and sort of deal with it, but they've lost 2 members on C9. Are they going to be able to push here, Waylander?
Yeah, they have caused a lot of skills to be used. As we see the Lord getting into the base there, can they manage to take down this as Ling? As we see Ling taking down or trying to take down that tier 3 turret at the top. He does get engaged upon, and it's the Vexana getting the kill. But it's going to be, I'd say, sort of worth it because they've got 2 of the tier 3 turrets, and the game has swung completely in the favor of Cloud9.
Oh man, Phobius, he wants some more action here. He's going to go and engage onto that Black Dragon. Is he going to be able to come out alive, though? So we're looking at the T5, beautiful knockup from the Vexana with that Eternal Guardian. It's going to be knocked up 4 of them, but I don't think it's going to matter because the disengage is there. Or is it the Phobius? He's trying to get away here, but a beautiful knockup coming in from him. He decides to maybe go in at the last second and takes down that Julian.
The Revitalize coming in from the Lolita, absolutely clutched there from high show speed. Giving the Phobius just enough health to be able to survive through all of this.
Oh, here it is. I mean, Beatrix, she can't clear the lane properly because there's this annoying shield in the way. I mean, she's definitely been playing really like really well here because she hasn't managed to get her ults on the rocket launcher reflected yet. So, she's keeping the patience with that spell just in case it does happen like that. But here we go. Easy mid tower coming in from the side of C9. That's going to be all of the inhibitor turrets taken out, in fact. So we've been seeing pretty much a clean sweep of a comeback coming in from C9. Even though they're behind 4 kills, they're ahead in the gold lead, and they're most definitely ahead in the towers.
Yeah, as we see now, it's that timer for the next Lord, so it's going to be a team fight around this. I don't think Maple Leaf can leave this one uncontested.
No. This is probably the most important Lord of the game here. Even if it's not evolved, they still really need it, right? It's all about those enhanced minions with the map pressure. If Maple Leaf can get it, they can sort of secure their base defense for the next round of things. But if C9 get it, it's probably going to spell the end at this point. But we'll just have to see. As a Lord, it's about half HP. I don't think they want to try, but they're not going to be able to.
Yeah, the front line from the Phobius and Lolita is just way too much to try to get around. And if you look at the picks that Maple Leaf have, they just don't have a hero that can get into the backline quite quickly, with that high mobility assassin. That's the one thing you could say about a Julian pick. Really strong in the early game. But it does not have, you have to create the angles for him to try to get towards the backline to achieve objectives and things like that. As we get to see the waves being pushed in, more or less evenly, I think. But
no, Phobius is going to equalize it right there. You can see him holding the minion wave there. I think this is going to be a pretty much perfect lane equilibrium right here. This is the perfect angle for C9 to close this one. Are they going to be able to do it? The Black Dragon form already committed, circling around the base, but here he goes in. Is he going to be able to hold the defense for the one last time as the Numenon Blast does connect only onto one person, unfortunately, but he's just throwing away his life just to get them anywhere away from the base right now. But look at him. C9 are just running them over completely. The base is wide open here. They should be able to get it back. Tor protection has been committed here. It's just going to take 1 or 2 more basic attacks coming in from the Phobius, and he does it. C9 are going to be able to take this game in the semifinals against Maple Leaf 3-1.
Yeah, so actually neither of the semifinals going all the way to the 5th game. Both teams in the finals. Aim High up against Cloud9. Let's hear from you guys in the chat. Who do you think's gonna win this? What do you think, Rika? Cloud9 up against Aim High. We got to see quite a lot of both teams across yesterday and today. Who's gonna be your favorite going into that finals coming up?
I mean, if we're talking strictly favorites, depending on how you want me to use the term, I think C9 are definitely my favorites. I mean, I've looked up to these guys for the longest time, right? I've seen them, a lot of these players play in like NACT and stuff, and like I have a friend who's like only plays Valentina because of Mark UT, right? So they're my favorites in spirit coming into this grand finals. But Aim High, they've really impressed me, especially playing against qualifier losers. They've won me over quite a lot as well. I think they're gonna definitely give a good challenge to C9, and it could go either way.
Yeah, it's gonna be a grand finals of note. I think that's gonna be taking place this Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
so
indeed,
it's gonna,
indeed.
And that will be a best of 7. So, thank you all for tuning in to watch this. We'll probably see you guys again on Saturday evening, bringing you the grand finals. It's gonna be Cloud9 up against Aim High. It's going to be an exciting, intense matchup, but well played to both teams here. Congratulations to Cloud9, making it all the way to the grand finals of the Royalty X Nighthawk Game of Thrones Invitational.
Mm-hmm. Thank you guys so much for watching. It has been Rika and Waylander casting for you guys. Huge shout outs to Nighthawk for sponsoring the tournament, and it's all as always. It's such a pleasure casting for you guys.
Thank you for tuning in. But from myself, Waylander, and Rika is gonna be, and the Royalty team here, it's gonna be goodbye and good night.